Hello. In this writing manual that I'm working on with your help, I'm trying to be honest as much as I can. I'm trying to talk about how writing feels for me, has felt for me, the things I've seen in students and the things that have been helpful to them. And I've had another go at the introduction. I am, again, pretty sure that this won't end up as the introduction in the finished book. But it's something that's been preoccupying me, and you'll see it's about preoccupations. Hope you can hear the birds singing in the background. So this is the new opening, and I'd like to hear what you think of it, whether you agree this is how your writing space feels to you as a haunted place. That's the plumbing. Writing is a spooked activity. Even before you start writing, there are ghosts floating around you, some close and chilly, some ignorably further off. You may not realize they're there, but because you've set up as a writer, they have taken their places. For example, and perhaps primarily, Gustave Flaubert, 1821 to 1880, hangs around looking like the Horniman Museum walrus, stern but humorous. He is with you to insist that what you are engaging in is art. You may think this assertion isn't necessary. Of course it's art, in which case Flaubert's spirit has won you over already. But most of us would be reluctant to introduce ourselves to a group of strangers by saying, "I'm an artist." It's far more comfortable for writers to say, "I do a bit of writing now and again." Ghost Flaubert is insistent that if it's going to be worthwhile, it isn't ever a bit of writing. It's a hell of a lot of writing. It has to be. Flaubert repeats that every word must be the right word, le mot juste, and it must be in the right place, and it must be referring to a comprehensible, visualizable, emotive world. If you want, you can summon the ghost of Daniel Defoe or Jack Kerouac to have a fight with Flaubert, or to see him off entirely. Dickens might also pitch in, and Tolstoy might bring knuckle dusters, but beware of bringing Tolstoy too close. He hovers around so as to repeat these words: a novel should try to contain the whole world and improve it. If he can be bothered, James Joyce will pop in to chant this too, but he'll also say that Tolstoy's whole world is nothing like the whole world, because it's the world at one historical moment, not all human worlds that have been or might be. That's what he, Joyce, attempted to write a novel about in Finnegan's Wake, though calling it a novel feels denigrating. It's a verbal world. Most writers can ignore the ghosts of Tolstoy and Joyce more easily than Flaubert. Their demands are far more excessive, and Chekhov and Lydia Davis can be brought in to make the case for the efficiency of the microcosm, the possible perfection of the very small but completely controlled versus the baggy monstership of the vast. You can default to that. It can save you. The ghosts spooking a short story writer can seem less awesome, but they are equally demanding. Most of the desk ghosts are male because men dominated the past, but you can, to some extent, choose to populate your looming surroundings with a more varied bunch. Virginia Woolf might be summoned in times of need to shoo away a lot of them with their bogus requirements, but she has exigencies of her own. It must be alive in its moment. It will find form and anguish which mustn't degenerate into false symmetries. Angela Carter will shout, "Just fuck off and leave her alone," to whoever you care to direct her at. Who else is around and about? Well, young Hemingway, however much you might not want him, he's there with his later allies Raymond Carver and Gordon Lish, and they're encouraging you to cut, cut, and cut again. If you leave an adjective on the page, or even more so an adverb, you're doing it in defiance of them and of Elmore Leonard. Perhaps you're still not convinced these presences are in your workspace/headspace, because you don't read these mostly dead white men, because you have others who are more vivid for you. But the old ghosts were likely there for the writers you've replaced them with. They're the ghosts that haunted your ghosts, and so they will find a way in. Some of them give a wider context, because they changed the game everyone was playing. Your reactions to that? I quite enjoyed reading it. It's got a lot of names in it, and some of those names aren't a major preoccupation for lots of writers. But I do think that the form of the novel, the fact that it's respected as any kind of production at all, is partly to do with Flaubert, for example. Well, principally. And therefore, if you're doing that thing, you have no choice but to be doing it on the ground that he established. So, your reactions, please. I'm going to put a link to the comments. Please like, share and subscribe, and I hope to see you tomorrow.